up to 90% of liquidity events fail. And why does it fail? Well, the root cause most of the time is lack of preparation. But here's the kicker. Of the remaining liquidity events that are a so-called success, anywhere from 50% to 100% of the deal value is left on the deal table. It's one thing to believe, it's another thing to know. And when this is the biggest, most important, largest financial transaction for most people in their lifetime, you better be knowing and you better be making it right, and you want to make it count.
The following is brought to you by Thryv, the end-to-end client experience platform that helps you get the job, manage the job, and get credit.
Hey everybody, this is Gordon Henry at Winning on Main Street. This week we talked to a guy who can tell you a lot about something you should care deeply about: selling your business. His name is Jeff Feldberg. His bio reads like this: we're the 9-figure exit guys. We said no to a 7-figure offer. 2 years later, we said yes to a 9-figure offer, despite having the same people, same company, and same services. We increased our business value 10 times. Today, Jeff and his business partner, Steve Wells, run Deep Wealth Experience, which is a firm that runs a 12-week program enabling small business owners just like you to maximize the value of your business when you sell so that you can extract maximum value. Pretty interesting stuff. Welcome, Jeff.
Hey, Gordon, thanks so much for having me here. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, really excited to talk about this. So let's start off with the headline. So you increase the value, exit value of your company 10 times in 2 years without really materially changing the company. How did you do it?
I know, even today, when I look back, it sounds unbelievable. What did you do? People ask, did you buy or acquire all these companies? How did you do it? And it's a little bit of a boring answer, but it's the truth. It's one word: preparation. It was being properly prepared. I'll throw a couple statistics your way, Gordon, and for all you business owners out there, pay close attention. For liquidity events, most liquidity events, depending on who you speak to, up to 90% of liquidity events fail. So all that time, that effort, that money that you're putting into putting your business out there, sharing your information with the world, is for naught. And why does it fail? Well, the root cause most of the time is lack of preparation from the
Mm.
business owner. But here's the kicker. Of the remaining liquidity events that are a so-called success, anywhere from 50% to 100% of the deal value is left on the deal table, which is a super polite way of saying your hard-earned money, you're giving it to your future buyer and you don't even know it.
That's fascinating. So we're going to come back to that. But now you have this 12-week Deep Wealth Experience course that really helps small business owners, the kind of folks who are listening, to extract the maximum value, right?
Absolutely. I mean, this is by business owners, for business owners. It's not theory, it's not books, it's not classroom stuff. This was heavy lifting done in the trenches. We took our 9-step roadmap, which, by the way, back in the day, we didn't call it all these fancy terms: a 9-step roadmap and a blueprint. And it wasn't even 9 steps. Some of those 9 steps were our failures, the mistakes that we made, that we reverse engineered. So it's a 9-step roadmap. It's 12 weeks. We call it 90 days. 12 weeks is actually a little bit less than 90 days, but 90 days sounds better for most people. So
Hmm.
at the end of 90 days, what's happened is, number one, you've had access to our playbook, the same strategies and tactics that we use for the preparation you get access to. The second thing that you have is a mastermind group, other business owners who are not competitors, who, like you, are wanting and having a liquidity event. And then the third component is a success coach. All of this is done asynchronously, a real geeky kind of word there, but it's at your own time, at your own convenience. So on the 91st day, two important things happen. You come out with a blueprint that you've created from our system of how to optimize the value in your business. And the second thing that you've done is you now have the certainty that you just know, you don't believe, you know that you're capturing the maximum value for your liquidity event. It's one thing to
Hmm.
believe, it's another thing to know. And when this is the biggest, most important, largest financial transaction for most people in their lifetime, you better be knowing and you better be making it right, and you want to make it count.
Yeah, that's super exciting. And one thing you left out, so I read your offer page, and it says there's a money back guarantee. And I thought that was pretty interesting. So somebody could take a 90-day course from you and you offer them a money back guarantee. Why would you do that? And how did that work?
Go figure, money back guarantee. What's going on with this? Really, as it just as a business owner, it takes a business owner to know a business owner. I ask myself, and at our team, we ask ourselves, as business owners, what do we hate as business owners? What don't we like when we're doing business kinds of things? And so we put all that up on a board, and we built that into the system. So, as an example, we made it really simple. You have the money back guarantee. We don't take a percentage of the company. There's not a percentage of any transaction that you're doing. It's a one-time investment. That's it. The money back guarantee is there just to give you some peace of mind. And we're putting literally our money where our mouth is. We really believe in what we're doing. And we wanted everyone who's going through the deep wealth experience to have that confidence as well.
Okay. And just because people may be wondering, what does it cost to take the course?
Well, before I share the one-time investment, as we call it, all the investment bankers are saying, Jeffrey, you're not charging enough. All the business owners are saying, Jeffrey, you're charging too much. So the one-time investment is $35,000.
Okay. Okay. Well, if you're selling a business that's, let's say, potentially going to fetch $1 million, and you can, increase by you're saying, a couple of zeros, $35,000 is not a bad investment if you're really maximizing the value of the exit.
Gordon, $35,000. It is a rounding error. It is a
Right.
rounding error relative to what you get out of it. Our 9-step roadmap, 3 of the steps we do every step of the way. So it's 6 modules that you're learning. I mean, if you just zoomed in and you took one strategy from one of the modules, you have your ROI. What we don't talk a lot about, what most people don't realize, when you're planning for a liquidity event, and a liquidity event, it could be a full sale of your company. Maybe you're taking some chips off the table. Maybe you're raising some capital. Those are all liquidity events. It's really preparing for growth, preparing to have a liquidity event. They're just about one and the same. And that's the beautiful thing about this. When you master the 9 steps of preparation, well, I don't know, keep a thriving and profitable company forever, have a liquidity event tomorrow. They're both really good options.
Okay. So what can you share with us, what is the secret? I know you can't go through the 9-step or the 12-step course, but what would you say is the secret to increasing value when you exit? You used the word preparation before. Is that kind of what it comes down to, or is there more to it?
Well, there's really 9 steps of preparation, but really everything can usually be boiled down to a very simple story. And when you do preparation properly, you're doing 2 things. Number one, in advance, before your liquidity event even starts, you're finding those skeletons in the closet and you're removing them, you're cleaning them up, you're taking care of them well in advance.
Hmm.
And the second thing that you're doing, you're finding those hidden Rembrandts in the attic
Hmm.
and you're putting them out for public display. Well, what's a hidden Rembrandt, people say? Most businesses are world class in at least one area. Usually it's 2 or 3, maybe more areas. But the thing is, most business owners take it for granted. Well, the competition's doing it or everyone's doing it. Well, no, they're not. You're very unique in certain areas, and your customers want to know about that. Your future buyer wants to know about that. So, preparation allows you to remove the skeletons, find those Rembrandts, broadcast that to the world. And that is simplifying, but don't confuse simple with simplicity, but it's simplifying how you go a long way to increasing what we call your enterprise value or the value of your business.
Right. Now, you said you have a course underway right now. I think you said you have, I don't know, somewhere between 7 and 10 business owners in the course sitting around the table right now, or the virtual table, a synchronous table. Tell us just what are some of the, without naming names, of course, what are some of the businesses that are in your course right now? So people maybe could relate to, oh, that sounds like me.
It's diverse. I mean, people ask me, Jeffrey, is deep wealth, are you specific to an industry? And the beautiful thing is we are agnostic because best practices with the strategies and tactics are best practices. We have a manufacturing company on the one hand, at the other extreme, we have a company who's on the bleeding edge of AI with what they're doing. We have a marketing company, we have an e-learning company. It's amazing just the diversity of businesses that we have. We have a company that's doing information. So it's from different industries, every walk of life. But the one thing that they have in common, these business owners are super smart, incredibly successful. And as a mastermind group, they're now supporting each other. There's gold in those conversations asynchronously that they're having with each other, learning from each other, from the strategies, of course, from the success coach, and you put that all of that together, it really is a powerful and just an incredible way of gleaning insights. And we call it a mastermind group. Some people call it a CEO advisory group. It goes back thousands of years. If you go back into the history books, King Arthur and the Knights at the Round Table, well, that was a mastermind group.
Hmm.
Even Richard Branson and Oprah, they say, hey, my success comes from a mastermind group. So we really leverage the best of everything to make sure that you're walking out with a whole new appreciation of your business and how to properly prepare for that liquidity event.
Right. What would you say most business owners do wrong in selling their business? I guess you would say lack of preparation, because that word has come up a couple of times already. Is there anything else that are the common mistakes that you could say most business owners just fall into this trap?
Well, I'll reveal one of the things that we talk a lot about. Step number two of the 9-step roadmap are X factors to insanely increase the value of your business. So, for all you listeners out there, for Gordon, for your community, I have one very simple question. I don't want any ums and ahs or buts. It's a yes or no question, and it's not a rhetorical question. And here's the question. This is where most owners fall down. And I don't care if it's a company of two or a company of 2,000. Does your business run without you?
Hmm.
I'll say it one more time. Does your business run without you? Yes or no? Whether you have a management team or you don't have a management team, for most business owners, they are the sun, the moon, and the stars. And it's a classic mistake and it's a costly mistake.
Yeah, that I'm really glad you made that point. We've raised that topic on the show many times before, and we've talked about the famous E-Myth book by Gerber, who makes exactly that point. The business has to run without you, and if it's dependent on you, and you leave and the business stops, then you're really not able to sell it, or at least not sell it for a good price, right? Because the buyer wants to come in and they don't expect you to be there, and so it's got to run without you. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, buyers, again, on the Sell My Business podcast, we have a whole cast of characters in mergers and acquisitions, and buyers come on and say, Jeffrey, I would rather pay more for a business that runs without the owner. Because number one, I know I'm not wasting my time. The deal is going to go through. And then number two, I actually have something that I can work with. So having the business run without you, it's worth the time, it's worth the money, it's worth the effort. It pays itself back in spades to do that. And you get your lifestyle back. You get a life and you get to work on, in Gerber's words, on the business instead of in the business.
Yeah, awesome. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be back in just a minute with Jeff Feldberg.
Are you a small business owner paying too much in tax? My name is Mike Jezoshek, and I'm a CPA and host of the Small Business Tax Savings Podcast. What I want to introduce to you is our tax minimization program. All too often, we see small business owners, when they think of tax, think preparing and filing tax returns instead of tax planning. That is why we launched the tax minimization program. The goal of our program is to make sure small business owners are paying the least amount in taxes as legally possible. As part of our program, you'll have access to a library of tax strategies along with implementation guides. So not only do you get to understand a tax strategy, but you'll have the guide on how to implement it in your business today. You also have unlimited access to our team to ask general tax questions. Have a tax strategy you want to run past us or a tax situation that came up? Feel free to reach out to our team. We also do monthly group training sessions and have a private Facebook group and so much more. To join our tax minimization program, go to taxsavingspodcast.com/tax. That's taxsavingspodcast.com/tax and be on your way to saving the most taxes as legally possible.
This episode of Winning on Main Street is brought to you by Thryv, the end-to-end client experience platform that includes everything small business owners need to meet their customers' expectations. Thryv's award-winning and fully mobile interface delivers technology previously reserved for big business to the fingertips of small business owners nationwide. Thryv's built specifically for small business, but there's nothing small about what it can do. Thryv handles your entire customer experience, helping business owners reach more customers, stay organized, get paid faster, and generate online reviews, all from a single device or screen. To learn more about Thryv, visit winningonmainstreet.com and click on Get a Demo. When it comes to software to run your business, there's no comparison. Check out Thryv today.
All right, we're back with Jeff Feldberg, and it's a fascinating conversation about selling your business and some of the keys to increasing the value of your exit. And Jeff's story is pretty amazing, increasing the value of the business he and his partner, Steve Wells, sold by 10 times in 2 years. I think anybody would be pretty excited if they could do that. So, Jeff, we were just talking in the break. Part of the key in getting the business to run without you is to have it kind of automated. The whole idea of business automation. We've all heard of marketing automation, business automation. Can you talk a little bit about the importance of automating your business?
Automation and business automation, it's huge for a whole number of reasons. Number one, it impacts your culture in terms of how you're doing things, number of staff that you have, what's required. It's saving time. I mean, here's the thing. One of the things that we focus a lot on in Deep Wealth, and Gordon, this is right in your wheelhouse with automation and saving business owners time. Why would you be having your people wasting their time, quite openly, doing things that they don't need to be doing, instead of into more value add areas, such as why not be interfacing with customers and asking them key questions, or with your supply chain, or looking to find that next blue ocean that's going to create a market disruption. And at the same time, when your future buyer is looking at you, in the back of his or her mind, the thought process is going, wow, they're really antiquated. What am I going to have to spend to upgrade the technology in this business to automate it? I don't want to have that headcount. I want to have a smaller headcount. I want to have a more efficient and profitable company. So I would even put automation both if you do it really well, both, number one, it's an X factor. It could be a skeleton in your closet if you're not doing it at all, or it could be a Rembrandt that you're taking it out to the world, to your customers. We're automated. And because we're automated, it saves us time, so we can do this for you or to your future buyers. So automation is huge. And all you business owners out there, if you're not automating, if you're not working with what Gordon is doing here at Thryv, you're nuts. Stop what you're doing. Stop the presses. Start that today. Automation is huge. It's a no-brainer.
Thanks, Jeff, for saying that. And I do want to just tell people, whether it's Thryv or some other piece of software, you really have to look at a tool that can help you automate processes in the business, both because it's going to make you a better business, faster, less dependent on manual activities, but also, as Jeff said, because if you have a process that's been integrated into an automation tool, where the same thing happens over and over and over, and the system sort of does it for you, that's a much more valuable business. You're going to do better on your exit. So in the long run, that's a super smart investment. So, I wanted to get back to this whole issue of exits and maybe misconceptions or conceptions people have about it, or that I have about it. One thing that I think a lot of people think is the exit is all dependent on my negotiation skills. It's all about negotiating. Am I a good bluffer? Can I walk away from the table? Am I a good gambler? That kind of stuff. Is that important, or is that really kind of missing the picture here?
Well, let me put myself under the microscope. We'll talk the before and the after. So before I learned the 9-step of preparation and that whole roadmap, in my mind, very similar to what you're saying, Gordon, I thought, you know what? I just show up at the table. That's where the value gets discussed, and we do the negotiations back and forth. And I saw firsthand no, absolutely not. It couldn't be further from the truth.
Hmm.
The value of any business is not created at the deal table. The value of the business is created from the years of preparation that you do beforehand. So the deal table, when you're sitting there, it's really like looking in a rearview mirror at the quality and the depth of the preparation that you did leading into your liquidity event. The more prepared you are, the better and the higher your enterprise value. I'll share a quick story with you on that. So I was speaking to an investment banker, and he said, Jeffrey, right now we have a business that we're having an auction. And so an auction, this is where you have different buyers rather, who are coming in to look at the business at the same time, and they're all putting in bids. And the investment banker said the lowest bid is $11 million. The highest bid is $70 million, 70. You have a $59 million spread. And he said, Jeffrey, how many business owners would take that $11 million offer? Well, certainly not the deep wealth business owners, that's for sure. But most business owners would say, hey, I struck gold. Look at this. I hit it out of the park. I got $11 million for my business, not realizing that they're leaving $59 million of their hard earned money in their buyer's pocket. And that's really what it's like as business owners. And that's why deep wealth, why I brought that out. People say, Jeffrey, are you crazy? You could be doing anything. Why are you doing this? There's your answer. If I can help business owners really get and extract their deep wealth of what they've worked so hard for and what they've earned, then I'm paying it forward. I really enjoy doing that and helping people. And that's what gets me out of bed every day.
That's fascinating. I want to get back real quick to we glossed over your story, your particular success story in selling your business. Can you tell us what was your business, and briefly in the negotiation, how many bidders did you have that enabled you to get to this higher value?
So the business, which was called Embanet, it was an e-learning company, and this is where we worked with universities to take graduate education and put it online. And we like to say we filled the seats, we kept the seats filled, and we created a positive return on investment for the universities that we worked with. So that was the company Embanet, and that's what we did. When we did the proper preparation, when we selected the right advisory team and the investment bankers, did all of that. We were fortunate. It's been a while. Don't hold me to this, but I want to say there was somewhere between 120 to 150 businesses that were, or buyers rather, that were interested and putting in letters of intent.
Wow,
From that, we narrowed it down to 12. And from the 12, we then narrowed it down again to the top 3 or 5 and went through that process.
that's really impressive. And you did have a banker, yeah?
Listen, all you business owners, and depending on the size of the business, it's either going to be an investment banker or a broker. If you try
Hmm.
to do this yourself, you're nuts.
Hmm.
Don't even get out of bed that day. Stay at home. You need that investment banker. You need that broker. Whatever fees are being paid, it's well earned. Here's the question for you, Gordon. How could you or I master something we've never done before? That's a rhetorical question. You can't. So all an investment banker does day in, day out are deals. So why not have the odds in your favor of getting a professional? Now, knowing how to select an investment banker, whole other story, but having an investment banker or a broker, depending on the size of your business, is really where you want to be to extract the maximum value for you.
Hmm. Yeah, they say people who sell their house, everybody sells a house, and that's the biggest transaction in their life, and so they should be very careful about going through the process. Well, if you have a business to sell, it's an even bigger transaction. As you say, for most sellers, it's probably the one time they're going to do this. You kind of want to make sure you put the right foot forward, and that involves having somebody at your side who's done it before.
Well, Gordon, you're exactly right. I mean, as a homeowner, how many of us would put a for sale by owner on the front yard and we don't paint the house and it's just a mess and we're inviting people off the street, hey, come on in and take a look at my house. Well, going to market, number one, when you don't prepare, and number two, when you don't have the right representation. And that doesn't just include investment bankers. So many business owners, well, my sister-in-law or my brother-in-law, well, they've been the business lawyer from the inception of the business. They know the company. I'll save some time and money. I'll use them. Or same thing with accountants, or down the line you go, you really need to know, number one, you have the right M&A professional, the right M&A advisor at your side. That's all that they do day in, day out.
So, Jeff, we're just down to the last couple of minutes of the show. I mean, you're a guy who sold a business for 9 figures with your partner, so you've done pretty well for yourself. What do you do for fun when you're not teaching the deep wealth course?
I just I love helping people. I love being of service. That said, I'm a family guy. I have 2 incredible daughters, and when I'm not working and doing the business stuff, I'm with my family, with my daughters, and just enjoying and making the most of it.
That's great. That's great. Well, for everybody listening, if you go to Jeff's site, which is deepwealth.com, you can find out where to access his podcast, which is called the Sell My Business Podcast. You can hear all about this from other angles. You can also get his free ebook, which is called, okay, get ready for this, Why You Suck at Selling Your Business and What You Can Do About It Today. That may be the first time I said that word on the air. But no, seriously, he's got some great materials, and obviously a topic of great interest to everybody. So check it out. So thanks again, Jeff, for joining us today. I think this is a fantastic topic, and I hope people follow up and look you up.
Gordon, thank you so much. It's been my pleasure, and I really appreciate you having me on the show.
So if you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and tell a friend or colleague to subscribe, and leave us a 5-star review. We'd really appreciate it. Until next time, make it a great week.